Hey, boss! Wanna go around?
Look alive, ladies! The boss is gonna join us! Show him how it's done, boss! Your first priority in enemy territory is knowing your surroundings. Your life depends on where you are looking, and how fast you can identify your targets. Therefore, you must first master moving your line of sight. To move your line of sight, use the camera buttons. Now, when I give you an order, look in that direction. Look up! Good! Look down! Good! You should be familiar with the up and down camera buttons now. Press the action button if you're ready to move on. Okay! Next, we'll check your left and right. Look right! Good! Look left! Good! You should be familiar with the left and right camera buttons now. Press the action button if you're ready to move on. Okay! You can change the controls anytime in Options. Go with the method that works best for you. Next, I'll explain how to change stances. If you just stand there like an idiot in front of an enemy, you might as well kill yourself now! At times, you will need to get low to avoid detection. You have 3 stances: stand, crouch, and lying down. To change stances, good! Next, we'll work on your movement. Use the analog stick to move around. Tilt it a little to walk slowly. Tilt it further to run. Decide which to use based on your situation. Remember that your footsteps are louder when running, making you easier to discover. Be careful! Good! Now we have rolling. Rolling is useful for knocking down enemies in your way, and for getting away when surrounded. You can also use it to jump over small ditches and other obstacles. To roll, tap the attack button while running. You got that? Tap the attack button while running! Don't forget it! Boss, roll by tapping the attack button while running with the analog stick. Boss, roll by tapping the attack button while running with the analog stick. Boss, roll by tapping the attack button while running with the analog stick. Boss, roll by tapping the attack button while running with the analog stick. Boss, roll by tapping the attack button while running with the analog stick. Boss, roll by tapping the attack button while running with the analog stick. That's it! Next, I will explain how to attack without gunfire. You may run into an enemy unexpectedly. You may not have a weapon on you, or you may be out of ammo. You'll still need an effective attack strategy. One well-placed strike and the enemy won't know what hit him. To strike an enemy, press the attack button while standing still. On my command, press the attack button repeatedly and take down your... Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Fine work, boss! Next, we're gonna practice using the stunt. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
That is incorrect, boss! Fine work, boss! Now we'll move on to CQC. CQC, or Close Quarters Combat, refers to when engaging an enemy in battle at very close range. It is a quick and efficient way of eliminating a threat. There are various CQC techniques. We will go over each of them. Don't get cocky because you think you know them. This will be different from what you're used to. Pretend you are learning it for the first time. The first technique is throwing your opponent. To do this, position yourself near your opponent. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
That is incorrect, boss! That is incorrect, boss! Boss, you have to press the attack button as you tilt the analog stick.
Start talking.
That is incorrect, boss! That is incorrect, boss! I'll explain it again! To do this, position yourself near your opponent and press the attack button while you tilt the analog stick. Be sure to press the attack button when the icon appears. Now, wait for my command and throw your opponent! Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Impressive, boss! Next, I'm going to teach you how to restrain an opponent close to you. It's a cornerstone of CQC. Grab hold of an enemy, and the bastard's life is in your hands. What you do from there is up to you. Just know that if you restrain him for too long, the average person will most likely pass out. Something to keep in mind. Let's begin. To restrain your opponent, hold down the attack button while near them. Restrain your opponent on my command. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Impressive, boss! Now we will throw your opponent after restraining them. To throw an enemy to... Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Impressive, boss! Now we will try CQC against multiple enemy opponents. You can also take out a group of enemies by throwing an opponent you have restrained. First, restrain an opponent by pressing the attack button near them. Then tilt the analog stick to throw them. By tilting the analog stick toward other enemies, you can send your captive flying straight into them. On my command, restrain and then throw your opponent. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
That is incorrect, boss! Fine work, boss! Again! Go!
I'm ready, boss.
That is incorrect, boss!
Next.
That is incorrect, boss! That is incorrect, boss!
Start talking.
Tilt the analog stick while restraining the opponent, boss! That is incorrect, boss! That is incorrect, boss! That is incorrect, boss!
Next.
That is incorrect, boss! I'll explain it again! First, restrain an opponent by pressing the attack button near them. Then tilt the analog stick to throw them. By tilting the analog stick toward other enemies, you can send your captive flying straight into them. On my command, restrain and then throw your opponent. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
That is incorrect, boss! That is incorrect, boss! That is incorrect, boss! Tilt the analog stick while restraining the opponent, boss! That is incorrect, boss! That is incorrect, boss! That is incorrect, boss!
Start talking.
That is incorrect, boss! That is incorrect, boss! Fantastic! All right! Why don't we do something special since the boss is here? Anyone who feels like getting their ass kicked, step forward. Don't hold back, boss. When you're surrounded by multiple enemies, you'll have to take them on one after the other. To do it, simply press the attack button again while throwing the current enemy. Just be sure to wait for the icon to appear. Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Pause! Press the attack button when the icon appears! Pause! Press the attack button when the icon appears! Pause! Press the attack button when the icon appears! Pause! Press the attack button when the icon appears! Pause! Press the attack button when the icon appears! Pause! Press the attack button when the icon appears! Fantastic! Again! Go!
I'm ready, boss.
Fine work, boss! And stop! That's it for today! Thank you, boss! Snake!
What's going on, Kaz?
We've got guests.
Time to move.
Don't worry, it's not our friends from Langley. I brought him. Made sure we won't follow.
They've got a supply port north of Puerto Limon, a town in la Costa del Mar Caribe. A few days ago, Paz stumbled upon that facility while...
Miller here. Do you copy, Snake? I see you've landed. That makes one giant leap for us. I'm sending this from the offshore plant, our mother base. The signal is unidirectional. I'll be giving you commands and advice through this channel. Keep your headphones on at all times and pay attention. Also, make sure no one else can listen in. Snake, are you clear on the controls? Take a minute to refresh your memory. Use the analog stick to move. Use the circle, X, triangle, and square buttons to change views. To change your settings, use the start button to open the menu. There's no one around. Why not try some shooting practice? Select a target and squeeze off a round or two. Press the square and circle buttons, while holding the right button to switch weapons. Ready your weapon with the L button, then press the R button to fire. How about a little shooting practice? Try hitting a coconut. Select equipment by pressing the square or circle buttons while holding the left button. To check your map, press the start button to open the menu. Your binoculars enable you to gather recon from a distance. The M16's a standard assault rifle, capable of rapid fire. Perfect. Drums, driftwood, buoys. There are plenty of targets around here. To use the stun rod, first unequip any other weapons, then ready it with the L button, and strike with the R button. Get rid of that door and keep moving. Use a grenade. Snake, don't you think you could use a little more practice? I gotta thank you for agreeing to this, Snake. Man, am I glad to be out of here. Finally, we can leave all that crap in San Geronimo behind. Break into the mercenary business for real. Let me guess. You're doing it for her, aren't you? For her. There they are. CIA mercs. Snake, you've got to get past them undetected. Avoid combat whenever possible.